Hi, welcome back to the channel. On today's program, we're going to talk about estate planning tools to protect your family. Very important subject. Hi, I'm Gerald Marquith. I'm a certified financial planner, and on this program, we direct our comments to those 50 and under. We're going to discuss things that high school and college should have taught you about personal finance, but they never did. So let's get into the subject of tools around financial and estate planning. First thing you want to consider is life insurance. It's especially true of the breadwinner, but if both people in a family, let's say, are working, then life insurance for each one of them is appropriate. Now, when it comes to life insurance, there's two basic kinds. There's term insurance and there's whole life insurance. Term insurance is considered pure insurance. In other words, it's lower cost and it goes from year to year. It can be canceled at any time. If you don't make the payments, they'll cancel you, and that'll be the end of the insurance. So it covers you directly that way. In the case of whole life, it's more permanent insurance. So long as you make the payments, they can't cancel you for any reason. Here, you can build up cash value where you couldn't do that with a term insurance policy, but you pay more for that going forward. So think about life insurance. Here, you're going to want to make sure that you have your beneficiaries listed in case of being married, the spouse, and then the secondaries are usually the children involved. So think about that when it comes to an estate planning tool, life insurance. Now, where do you get life insurance? Well, lately you can go online and sign up for life insurance and get it that way, or you can seek out an independent life insurance agent in your area. They can review your situation, income, things of that nature, and determine how much life insurance coverage you should have when it comes to a policy. Let's talk now about disability. Disability will generally cover 60 to 80% of your income should you become disabled. You may get this through your employer. In fact, you may actually get life insurance through your employer. But you want to make sure you have enough coverage. In a disability plan, if you don't have one, you seek out again an insurance company to do that will write a policy for you that will then cover the disability, and they'll have an exclusion period, how long you have to wait before you start getting the disability payments. So think about those two items, insurance, life insurance and disability insurance, very much on top of mind list. The next one is just as important, and I'll share a story that when I first got married, probably within a day or so, a friend suggested to me that I get a will. And I thought, wow, I've never thought of that. I mean, I just got married. I have no children or anything like that. And yet here he was saying, get a will. So let's talk about that. A will states in a document what you want done upon your demise, where the money will go, how it will be spent, and things of that nature. You'll name an executor to the will. If you're married, it's usually your spouse. If not, it may be a close family member or relative. But you have an executor, and they'll carry out your wishes upon your passing away. So think about a will. Now, one thing to also consider here is if you create a will, say you lived in Florida all your life, and for whatever reason, you said, I have to go move to New York. Will New York honor the Florida will? That's something you're going to want to go check. Not all states will accept a will from another state. Some will. Some will have no problem with it at all. But you want to go and make sure you know that on the new state you're going to, that they'll accept your will. Otherwise, you're going to have to redraft it. Each state has their own state laws around wills. So that's why it's important that you have someone writing that will that will conform to state law. Let's talk now a little bit about powers of attorney, in particular, durable powers of attorney. These kind of powers of attorney is a power you give to people while you're still alive on certain areas of your life. For instance, you might give someone a financial power of attorney. And if you become mentally incapacitated in some way, maybe dementia or whatever the case might be, they have the power to make financial decisions for you, to pay bills, to make investments on your behalf, things of that nature. The same thing goes with healthcare. You can have a healthcare durable power of attorney, and they can make decisions with the doctor of what kind of care you should receive. These are important jobs for them to do. So obviously you're going to want to alert them and give them a copy of the durable power of attorney that you have. I recommend it even for spouses to have a durable power of attorney for each other. You know, you realize that when you go, let's say, into the hospital, the doctors may come out and say, does anyone have a power of attorney for the person we're caring for? And the spouse might say, I don't have one, but I am the spouse. They'll listen to her or him, but keep in mind, the durable power is something they're looking for to protect them, that they're actually following the instruction of somebody who's legally able to make those decisions. So durable power is high on your list as well. Give a copy to someone who is your durable power of attorney, put it in a safe deposit box or fire safe or somewhere where you have access to it. So think about a durable power of attorney or powers of attorney. Again, a lot of this will be covered by estate lawyers. They'll be able to do things like wills, powers of attorney, and things of this nature. Let's talk beneficiaries. This is a subject that surprisingly gets ignored a lot, but it's extremely important. I can recall talking with clients, and the client would call in and I'd review their IRA, and I'd say, well, I see that the primary here is Jill. And they'd say, Jill's my mom. I'm married now. Well, looks like time to start making some changes quickly. Even more common than that is, in the same example, I would say Jill is the primary, and they'd say, that's my ex-wife. I'm remarried. Well, again, here's a case where you're going to want to make sure that's changed. A will is not going to override whatever is in that IRA document or a life insurance document. You can write in your will, all my IRA money and retirement money goes to Sandy, let's say. And Sandy might be your second spouse, let's say. Well, Jill was your first one, and she's on the documents. So you're going to have to update those documents to match up to what your intentions are. Look at your secondary beneficiaries. If you have minor children being named, keep in mind that they can't directly get the money. There has to be a guardian for that. And of course, you can name a guardian in your will. If the child is between the ages of 14 and 18, they can recommend to the court a certain guardian, and the court can consider it, but it's up to the judge to decide who the guardian is. But if you put guardianship paperwork inside your will, or if you say in your IRA, John Doe, guardian for Jill Smith, that tells the courts, here's who the guardian is. So you want to be aware of that sort of thing on beneficiaries. These are important things that can really mess up your financial life or future life for those that you left behind. And finally, let's talk about trust accounts. Now, in the case of a will, everything is public. You go to the courts will either rubber stamp it, they'll take you through if you don't have a will, they'll take you through what's called probate, where they'll hire an estate lawyer to figure out where all the money goes. Generally, if it's a spouse only, they'll give it all to a spouse. But still, an estate lawyer will charge you for all this service. But in the case of a trust, it's all private. Now, you can put money and items into a trust account, and no one in the public sees it. It's all very privately done. You have, of course, in the case of a will, you have two different trustees. They manage the account. And of course, when you stop and think about it, sometimes having a trust is a good thing, unless you like to keep things very open to the world. Again, a lawyer can step you through that, through a trust account. And so you want to think about what you'd want to put in there, what items to put in. Certainly you're not going to want to put IRAs and things like that inside of your trust account. So that's an overview of the various estate planning documents that you're going to need going forward. And again, I'd recommend you consider doing a lot of this sooner than later, because you never know what happens day to day. I hope you've liked and enjoyed what we've talked about here. Share this with others and put comments in of things of your own experiences when it came to estate planning, things that you ran into that turned out to be unforeseen situations that you certainly weren't expecting. So with that in mind, I hope to see you on our next program. Take care.